morning. There have been reunions in the past. There will be plenty more in the future. But 2024, the milestone year of your journey, will always be special. 50 years since the beginning of a journey that began from IIT Madras. A lot has changed in the last 50 years, but a lot has also remained unchanged. It is now time to celebrate your journey so far. It's time to reflect, recharge, rejuvenate, reunite with friends at the very place where it all began, your IIT Madras. I'm Sunita Anup Kumar from the Office of Alumni and Corporate Relations, your MC for the day. Welcome home to your golden reunion. Here's wishing you a joyful and nostalgic day ahead. Let's begin with an invocation. I request you all to please rise for the Tamirtha Ivartha, followed by our national song, Vande Matram.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. வந்தே மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுஃபலாம் மலயஜ சீதலாம் சஸ்யஸ்யாமலாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் शुभ्रज्योत्स्नां पुलकितयामिनीं फुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिनीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्.
Thank you, everyone. Do be seated. May I invite Mr. Kaviraj Nair, CEO, Office of Institutional Advancement, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. I feel deeply honored to be here to welcome all of you to the 50th Golden Reunion for the class of 1974. In fact, I was just thinking that all of you graduated in 1974 and I graduated from this institute in 1999, exactly 25 years after all of you. And I'm sure that it's a memorable occasion for all of you to be back. Many of you will be meeting each other after, say, 10, 20, 30 years. And to be here, to relive your memories and to be around the hostels and the institute classrooms and all of that. So a very warm and hearty welcome to all of you. I hope all of you have a great day ahead, interacting with each other and interacting with the faculty here and all the people here. And ladies and gentlemen, and today is also a momentous occasion in the journey of IIT Madras. Today, we are also going to witness the birth of the Wadhwani School of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. Mr. Sunil Wadhwani is here, one of your batchmates who has supported IIT Madras in establishing this School of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. Mr. Wadhwani has bestowed upon us a gift that will forever leave an indelible mark on the institute. And this substantial contribution has paved way for the establishment of the school, and this is going to be a milestone as the institute evolves continuously, especially in the current era where artificial intelligence is going to actually guide the way forward. This Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI will serve as a beacon of innovation, research, and education in these transformative fields. And I'm sure that the school is going to empower our students to become trailblazers and leaders in the future years. And the knowledge generated within these walls will drive advancements in healthcare, education, finance, manufacturing, and countless other domains, benefiting society at large. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to the entire batch of 1974 people who are here, alumni here, and to Mr. Wadhwani for all your unwavering support and belief in our institution. Once again, kindly allow me to welcome you all and invite you all to join us on this remarkable journey. Your presence here is a testament to the significance of this institution, and together we shall embrace the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead with dedication and a shared vision for a brighter future. Welcome you all. Hope you all have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Professor V. Kamakoti, Director, IIT Madras, to commemorate the Golden Reunion with a special address to the class of 1974. Please, sir.
So, dearest alumni, welcome back to your campus. I must say that I was in LKG when you all graduated from this school. So, very proud. Today is a very momentous occasion for us. 50th year is something which is very important in the sense that we also take stock, or there is an audit for the institution for how we have shaped your career, what sort of foundation that we had laid to you 50 years before, and how it is basically manifesting itself. It's a very, very important feedback that as an institute we are getting. In every reunion, we listen to many experiences, and that actually focuses us both on what we are doing and also gives us back a very large amount of organizational memory. So we have the Heritage Center, and we have positioned it at a correct place, the admin block. So every day morning when I get down and go on the right-hand side, I see the Heritage Center, and that gives me a pointer saying, see, so many people have worked so hard to build this institute, go and administer it properly. So that's the message it gives me. So friends, as an institute, we have done our best to see how much of us can be, how much of local relevance we can bring in. We strongly believe that local relevance will give us the global excellence and global recognition. So I would like to touch upon 3 or 4 points that we have been doing, specifically right from school to college and higher education, and some of our outreach programs, and take your feedback on that. So I'll just talk for around 10 minutes and then open up for questions so that I could respond to some questions if I know the answer. So number one is that, friends, we have been rated number 1 in the country for 8 years in a row. And so as said in the Ramayana, Sarvada Sukhadam Mitram Dushkaram Paripalanam, it is very easy to maintain, make friendship, but very difficult to maintain it. So it was easy for us to come to the top, but then we are really putting lot of effort to maintain that top position. And again, I should place on record my deep sense of gratitude and thanks to all of you alumni who have helped us in many ways through many projects, many funding, and also in our outreach, so that we keep that trend and we keep that momentum alive. India today, as a country, we are the youngest population in the age group of 15 to 35. Our gross enrollment ratio stands at 27%, meaning 73% of the kids who finish their school are not going to higher education. And if this trend continues in the next 10 years, we do have the danger of becoming the most uneducated country, and that will be dangerous for the nation. So, from IIT Madras end, whatever small or whatever contribution that we can do, at least certain experiments that we can conduct. So, we have taken this as one of the national academic emergency, and being the top institute, we thought it is our duty to respond to this. So, friends, we have started 215 rural interaction centers. 75% of this population in the 15 to 35 range are in rural India. And so we have started this rural interaction center where we have a large television set with a camera and internet connection. Volunteers, teachers, school teachers, college teachers and alumnus, they interact with these kids between 6 to 8 every day. They augment their school education, basically talk about what is happening in the school and then clearing some doubts there. They also motivate them on the higher education. Come to college education is important, etc. So that way, in February 2022, we started with 5 centers. One of the centers, I did get a call saying, we don't have biology teachers, we are failing in biology, can you arrange a biology teacher? So with some effort, we got a good biology teacher who trained the kids for 1.5 months. And those 3 girl children scored 90 plus out of 100 in their biology exam, just 1.5 months training. And all got into Shastra College for their biotech course. So this was a real eye-opener for us. We have been touching the marginalized community, the scheduled tribes, the tribal people in hills like Jawad, Malay, etc. So this has been, and due to our intervention, last year we saw the pass percentage moving from 50% to 98% in these places. So we have 102 centers in Tamil Nadu, around 100 of them in Varanasi, and 10 in Sri Lanka, right? So this is what we have tried. And this year we have a target to touch around 500 centers, some in Karnataka and etc. So our ultimate goal, I feel that unless we touch the children at the grassroots level, interact directly with the children, directly with the parents, I don't think we can solve the gross enrollment ratio problem. And we are moving, and this seems to be a very scalable solution. India has 1,55,625 sub-post offices. It has 20,000 plus pin codes, but sub-post office, every village or one in every 2 villages has a sub-post office. Our aim is that we need to have that many amount of number of rural interaction centers, and I think that is one big contribution which IIT Madras would like to do. In this context, I would basically make an invitation to the alumni. If you can spend 2 hours every year, we have 58,000 plus alumni. If you can spend 2 hours every year to come on that network and talk in the mother tongue, we have alumni from almost every part of India, talk in the mother tongue to the children and talk about higher education and give a motivation talk. This is a request that we will be coming back, and that will be some great boost and for the young children. Just a few conversations can really motivate them to take up higher education. So the next one is that we are also doing certain programs keeping in mind the need for our country. For example, today semiconductors is becoming very important, but the number of students who are joining electronics and communication and finally going into VLSI design or CAD design is dwindling in an alarming rate. So to enthuse kids into electronics, we have started a very massive program in Tamil Nadu involving 252 government school children, wherein we are providing them an in-house built kit. IIT Madras, our professors made a kit, electronic kit, through which we can spawn 100 experiments 25 each in 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. And we are targeting 400 children, 100 children per class in each of these schools. So 400 into 250, 100,000 children every year. We educate them on electronics, and 25,000 of them basically come out every year from the school. And even if 20% of this 25,000, 5,000 kids would take up electronics as a career, I think that is one very deep impact we do, basically keeping in the need for electronics engineers in the country. So this is again started with a benevolent funding from one of the alumnus who wants to keep his name, his or her name, confidential. So I'll not tell the name, but this has come out with close to $500,000 investment from them. And this program is launched this year. So these are some couple of things that we are doing on this outreach. Now, JEE is an examination. We have 1.5 million students who appear at JEE mains. Now, JEE entering into IIT is a two-stage process. We have 1.5 million students who write the JEE mains, from which we select around 250,000, in which the top 20,000 get into the IITs. So always we were thinking, right from I call grandfather, Professor Anand's time, and my father, Professor Bhaskar's time, we have been thinking about what we do for the remaining 14,80,000 students. So we started this NPTEL, National Program for Technology Enhanced Learning. Somewhere in 2005, the idea got conceived. At that point of time, we never thought that a pandemic like COVID will come where people will be locked down in their house. But in 2020-21, when the COVID struck very badly, NPTEL was the only source of serious technical education that was available to the students to prepare for their examination. We have now 1.4 million students writing this examination and transferring the credit. So the universities have agreed today that they can transfer the credits from these NPTEL courses into their curriculum. So this is a massive outreach that we have done, and we are now introducing more skilling courses, etc. Basically motivated by this, friends, we have launched the BS Data Science and the BS Electronic Systems course. In that, today I am very proud to tell you that we have around 25,000 students who are enrolled in the BS Data Science. As per the National Education Policy of Government of India, this is a multiple entry, multiple exit program. At the end of 1 year, you get a certificate. At the end of 2 years, you get 2 diplomas. At the end of 4 years, you get a BS degree. So we have introduced 2 courses, one in data science, another in electronic systems. Today, we have 25,000 students in the data science and 1,000 students in the electronic systems course. And I'm also very proud to tell you that more than 5,000 of them are below poverty line. We did a very simple exercise. We took 200 children in government schools in Chennai. We trained them for 4 weekends, around 8 classes, on how to take the eligibility test. And I must tell you, a child without father, mother is a housemaid, she cleared the 3-hour test in 1.5 hours and scored 80%. And she joined the BS Data Science program. I am sure these are the people for whom opportunity is denied, and if proper opportunity is given, they will be very successful in life. We have at least 1,000 such characters in the BS Data Science program, and I am very proud that IIT Madras is enabling this particular, what we call as the SDG 4, the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which talks of equitable, affordable, quality education accessible to all. And this is something that we have taken up. What's time? 10 minutes. Okay. So the next step that I would like to take on here is that we have now moved on to more of interdisciplinary education. Thanks to, again, Professor Bhaskar, who basically brought in the notion of 40% of our credits. So you can all touch your heart and say, at the end of your 1974, when you took the degree certificate, how many courses, what percentage of courses did you remember? Or, right? So the very optimistic thing would have been 60%, the realistic maybe 30-40%. In my case, it was 20%, okay, I just believed in hardware. Okay, so the remaining 40% has been opened up as open electives, and that gave us the opportunity that, see, at the 10th, we ask you want to do science or commerce. Is a question which the child, it's a very draconian question in my part, and the child decides that I have to do science. Now, based on one day's performance, you thrust the kid into some degree, which I call karma, okay, karma degree. Now, 2 years down the line, even the computer science guy feels that, okay, I should not have taken computer science, I should have taken engineering physics, right? So 2 years is some period that we believe that the child will understand what really they want to do in life, what is really interesting to them. So we have opened up 15 interdisciplinary dual degree programs. So at the end of 4th semester, if you are interested in some field, it can be robotics, it can be quantum sciences, it can be quantitative finance, it can be MA in public policy, it can be cyber physical systems. So like that, we have 15 such courses. So if you get interested in one of this, you can start taking the electives accordingly, because you have 40% free elective. And today I was talking to Mr. Wadhwani. There are 17 reasons for why a student takes a particular elective. Okay, right from there is no 8 o'clock class, no attendance, sure pass, girlfriend is there, so many things, right? So, so you can really decide on that. And then after your 4th year, you will have taken 40% of the courses. You spend 1 more year, take the remaining 60% with a project, and you get a dual degree. One, the karma degree, your BTech, in the discipline that you got based on your JE rank, and the new thing that is of interest to you. And now we are seeing a very good trend of students actually taking up the IDD courses. So, and we have opened the same for international MTech students also, so that we are seeing a good number of international students coming and taking these courses. With this in mind, we started the Department of Medical Sciences and Technology, which is trying to marry medicine and engineering together. And we also opened a state-of-the-art BS in Medical Sciences and Engineering. We did a very good survey of what is happening in medical education across the country. So medical education today is in 4 stacks. There is one, the first part of this is anatomy, physiology, genomics, etc. The second is the physiological understanding of the human body, modeling, mathematical modeling. The third one is pharmacology and devices. And the last one is clinical application. If you take a typical MBBS course, they do the first part, genomics, anatomy, physiology, then directly go to clinical applications. The other biosciences and biomedical talks about a lot of the devices, a bit of modeling, a bit of anatomy, and then go into clinical application. We need one solid course, which is the second one, which is completely understanding the physiological modeling of the human body using mathematical structures. So this is where the BS in Medical Sciences and Engineering we are targeting. I also strongly suggest that you can look at a book called Virtual You. It's a digital twin of your own body. And that is the title song of this Medical Sciences and Engineering course. So we have started, and we admit through ICER aptitude test. We have around, in the top 100, around 125,000 students take that test. In the top 100, 22 rankers have joined this course out of the 30 seats. So we started it in a very big way, and I hope that this will go on. And the next one is, of course, the Data Science and AI Department. Thanks to Mr. Wadhwani for this very generous contribution. I think this is going to take us to great heights. This started with the Robert Bosch Center, where we had more than 30 faculty from different departments joining together. And this is now as a department. The last one is we will be starting a school on interdisciplinary sciences and engineering, which will be completely taking into account many of these interdisciplinary programs and launching these programs, etc. So that is also our commitment to interdisciplinary education. So I have a lot to talk, but I have very limited time. So we have opened the Zanzibar campus, Friends, the first time any IIT has started any overseas campus. I'm also very proud that the director of the IIT Madras Zanzibar campus is Preeti Agalyam, again, first lady to take up such a position there. So we are very committed to encouraging women leading institutions, and we are setting up role models in this direction. Last one is that we do have a very clear agenda about bringing up innovation and entrepreneurship. We want more Wadhwanis, we want more Deshpandes, we want all more of these people. 15, 20 years later, that director there must need another Wadhwani to give another 500 crores to some other school that he wants to start. So this is the selfish interest with which we are now promoting entrepreneurship as a very important activity. So 2025, my vision for the institute, which I'm pushing the kids very strongly for, the day of placement today, the news is 1 crore package, 2 crore package, but our message would be 20% of the graduating students are CTOs, they have started their own companies, or they have joined companies incubated by IIT Madras. So this should be our message, and that is what we are aiming at. So I also strongly urge all of you to look at the Center for Innovation, which is again set up by a lot of funding from Shankar, Sudha, and also Desh and Chris Gopalakrishnan, all our alumnus. So we are really bringing up an I&E stack here. Last one, I have more to say, but last one is School of Sustainability. We are very committed to the Sustainable Development Goal. Ashwin, who is here, is heading the School of Sustainability. We will be setting up an Hydrogen Valley project at lean construction. Today, this is happening here because we have a major conference on less carbon lean construction, things that are going on. So a lot of sustainable development goals related projects we have taken up. So these are all the things we have. I strongly urge you to visit different parts of the campus, also the research park. I hope you'll have a very interesting journey today and tomorrow as you're spending in this campus. And welcome you anytime here, and any sort of suggestions and any contribution that you would like to do, we are always open. Your alma mater is always open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Today, 30th January, is observed as Martyrs' Day across the nation. May I request everyone to please rise for a minute's silence. Thank you, everyone. I now invite Professor B. Ravindran, Head, School of Data Science and AI, to give us an overview of AI research at IIT Madras.
Morning, everyone. Okay, is that better? Yeah. So, morning, everyone, and I join our director in welcoming you back to campus. And so I wanted to give a very quick rundown on the data science and AI activities at IIT Madras. And like Professor Kamakoti was saying, we strongly believe in looking at AI as an interdisciplinary activity. And there are multiple centers that
Okay? Multiple centers that you see here. And all of these have people from different disciplines and different specializations involved in these centers. So let me start off by, so this is basically has been our philosophy. So data science and AI are highly interdisciplinary fields. And so we need involvement of domain experts as well as AI scientists. So we have launched many collaborative initiatives, not just research centers. As the director was saying, we also have multiple innovative programs on data science and AI involving people from various expertise. Right? So to start off, I want to talk about the Robert Bosch Center for Data Science and AI. So the seeds for this center were sown by an initiative from Professor Bhaskar. So when he was the director, he actually asked the faculty to come up with proposals for setting up interdisciplinary research groups. And this was back in 2015. And so we had a small group of faculty who got together and said, we will work on data science as an interdisciplinary activity. So we started off with 13 faculty members from 6 different departments. Right? And then we were given a seed fund back then. And then as we started growing in 2017, we had Bosch come to IIT Madras saying that they would like to fund the activities that were happening. We didn't go to Bosch seeking their support. They actually came to IIT Madras and said that they would love to fund these activities. And now, today, we have about 36 faculty members who have an affiliation to the center, coming from 14 of the 18 departments that are there at IIT Madras, including even the humanities school, who are looking at the impact of AI on society. Right? And so we have 80 plus researchers who are part of the center now, and another 75 students who do their final year projects. And since the center started, we have 220 plus publications. That's a slightly dated number on the slide. There are 220 plus publications with the center's affiliation there. And we have some of the leading research groups in the country in various areas. I'll not bore you by getting into specific details. But in each of these areas that I have put out here, we have either the largest and the most impactful group in the country or among the largest research groups in India, and also having impact globally. And so we started work on looking at fairness and understanding machine learning systems, and that has now grown into a center by itself, which we call the Center for Responsible AI. Right? So where we look at issues such as making AI more accessible to the common man, and also looking at how you can responsibly deploy AI in a wide variety of settings, right, such that it doesn't impact people in a harmful fashion. So when we proposed this center, Professor Bhaskar jokingly asked us, okay, does that mean every AI that was been doing so far is irresponsible AI? To some extent, yes. Right? So till about 10 years ago, AI was mostly confined to the laboratories. Right? We didn't have to worry about the larger societal impact of AI. Right? And now it is affecting every aspect of society, right? Every aspect of our life. So we had to really start thinking about what are the kind of known impact and what are the more insidious things that AI is doing to our social structure, right? So these are questions that we have to ask. It's because it's become a fundamental technology, so we are doing a lot of work in that, right? So, and then there are multiple verticals in which our work gets organized. We do a lot of work in manufacturing, in the financial sector, and systems biology and healthcare. We have very, very strong interdisciplinary effort in looking at AI and data science for healthcare. And we also have a lot of work in smart cities and looking at transportation, infrastructure, smart infrastructure like power distribution, water networks, and so on and so forth. And across the board, you can see that there are a bunch of other centers that I have put out there. I'll talk about some of them, but we collaborate with multiple other centers as well. So this just to give you a snapshot of the various companies and organizations that we work with. And so you can see that there are many multinationals, NGOs, government bodies that we work with across the board. I already talked to you about Center for Responsible AI. So the idea here is to make sure that it is a multi-stakeholder center. So we have lawyers who are visiting faculty at this center. We have people like social scientists who work with the Center for Responsible AI. The idea is to make sure that we truly understand the impact of AI on society in a multifaceted way. right? So here is an example of things. So we have multiple organizations. We have Google, we have Ericsson, we have Meta who support the research here, and we work with organizations such as CMC Vellore, industry bodies, and law schools, right? And People Plus AI is again NGO and multiple think tanks and so on and so forth. Put together a fairly large coalition. So, and then we have this Center for Integrative Biology and Systems Medicine, which is, in fact, predates the Robert Bosch Center, and we work on both on the genomics, right, and the computational biology side of things, and also on healthcare. So I'm not going to talk about a whole lot of things, but I just wanted to call out one specific project that's been really impactful from IBSC's initiative, which is the Garbini project, where we have been looking at building models, AI-driven models for dating the gestation, estimating the gestational age. So we have about 3.6 million babies who are born premature in India. Right? And so what we wanted to do was build Indian models for finding out what is the age of a fetus. Typically, we use models built out of European and American data, and Indian babies are much smaller. Right? So they typically end up underestimating the age of the fetus, and we can't really use the scanning machines estimate of the age as any kind of an indicator on taking any medical decisions. Right? So we are trying to come up with our own models, and hopefully we will soon be able to push it out into actual devices. Right? So that's something that had a significant impact, and also globally recognized. And we have been approached by teams from South America and from Africa asking us if we can help them develop models for their population. Right? So just to give you a glimpse of the international collaboration that we have, the footprint, we're looking to expand this to more countries. I should probably start coloring in Zanzibar here, or Tanzania, so we don't have that there. So I think Director already spoke about the online BS in data science and applications. Right? So it's, we have multiple exit points. So there's a degree program, there are diploma programs, and also certifications that are there. And one thing which I think Professor Kamkoti didn't mention is that we have a good number of industry professionals also enrolled in this online program. They are not looking to earn a degree, but they are looking for these diplomas that allow them to have this additional certification in data science and AI. Right? This is something that is far more popular than I think we originally anticipated it would be. Right. And there are a whole bunch of other education programs. We have the interdisciplinary dual degree program, data science, again, which was alluded to, and we have about 75 students per batch, and they have some of the best placement figures among each of the graduating batches since this program started. And so we also have a web-enabled MTech program for working professionals in industrial AI, specifically designed for people who are looking to build solutions. Right? And we also have a joint MSc program with the University of Birmingham, where people spend half their time in India, half their time in the UK, and they get a degree from both places. And that's, again, become very popular. In fact, we were very surprised that we were getting some of the toppers from NITs, like NIT Trichy, who are applying to this joint MSc program. So I guess it gives them a good way to have this exposure to both Indian and the UK education system, and I think people find that very attractive. And of course, we also have this the international interdisciplinary program in data science. Again, a very popular program. Of course, it turns out that we seem to attract a lot of students from Ethiopia to the program, though. So we have a bunch of them at the back there. Right? And so finally, we want to thank Sunil Wadhwani again for setting up the Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI. So it's a very strong interdisciplinary focus. As you can see there are 15 faculty members who are moving from existing departments to this new department. They come from 9 different parent departments already. So they can see the strong interdisciplinary favor. So I just wanted to point out in a lighter vein. So Professor Kamkoti was saying that he was in LKG when you graduated. I have to point out that most of these 15 people in the department were not even born when you graduated. So we are a very, very young department. So that's something I wanted to point out. And of course, we are going to offer a BTech program and an MTech program. So through the usual intake pathway, so a BTech program with the JEE thing and MTech with the GATE, and where they would be writing the GATE in data science and AI paper, and also MS and PhD programs. So we are hoping that all of this are launching this July. So come to my IIT Madras and join our vibrant data science and AI ecosystem. We welcome people who can serve us in whatever capacity, as advisors, as visiting faculty, or send your kids here. So all things, right? So we would love for all of you to be part of our AI data science ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a glimpse of the cutting-edge AI research at IIT Madras and the upcoming Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit back for a short video montage on the person who made this happen, Mr. Sunil Wadhwani. May we have the video, please?
Artificial intelligence is increasingly impacting every walk of life, from self-driving cars to marketing chatbots, from assisting surgery to pest control in agriculture. The world as we know it now is on the threshold of an epoch-making change, thanks to AI.
I'm convinced that after leadership, science and technology alone can solve the problems of humanity, problems like poverty, climate change, social equity, and so on. Open innovation has ushered in an era of collaboration and co-creation, and never seen like this before, particularly in the areas of data science and artificial intelligence.
From revolutionizing the IT landscape to tackling global challenges like education and healthcare with AI, Mr. Sunil Wadhwani, a distinguished alumnus of IIT Madras, has woven innovation with social impact. His vision to ensure that the benefits of artificial intelligence reach every human being at the grassroots level led him to establish the Wish Foundation and Wadhwani AI.
Which was established about a decade ago with a mission of serving the most marginalized and poor people in the country by providing them with comprehensive primary health care. His untiring efforts have placed Wish Foundation as a frontrunner in the field of primary health care and digital innovations. It is my profound honor that Mr. Wadhwani and his family are standing steadfast and leading this journey with their visionary guidance and unflinching support.
This institute was started in 2018 by contributions as well as conviction from the Wadhwani family, essentially Ramesh as well as Sunil Wadhwani. It was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India with the specific goal of using applied AI for the benefit of the underprivileged and poor people in India. In a sense, it was ahead of its time, thanks to the conviction of both the brothers. Sunil has been involved in it quite extensively right from the get-go, with a sharp focus to ensure that we do all our work that actually touches the lives of people in India who need it most.
As the use of AI rises, it is now time for academia, industry, and policymakers to join hands to build a future where this path-breaking technology can bring in social good.
IIT Madras is a leader in data science and AI in India. Early on, we realized that the involvement of people with expertise in different domains is essential for building meaningful AI solutions. 6 years ago, we established the first interdisciplinary center on data science and AI at IIT Madras. Realizing the importance of this field and the fast-growing nature, we are now starting the Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI to grow this field further and to make IIT Madras a leader in the world.
The visionary entrepreneur and philanthropist, Mr. Sunil Wadhwani, has shown us the direction through the Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI at IIT Madras. This school aims to be the hub of AI research and consultancy in the country.
On this momentous occasion, I would like to congratulate IIT Madras, Mrs. Neeta Wadhwani and Mr. Sunil Wadhwani for establishing a School of Data Science and AI at his alma mater. Thank you, sir, for inducting me into your dream team. Trust me, there has never been a dull moment ever since I joined Wish Foundation. That was about 7 months ago.
The potential of this in bringing together interweaving capability from the industry, from the academy, from the research institutions, from government, from public policy makers is enormous. And the impact that it creates, particularly with young minds who are raring to go in a platform, could create magical results. a center dedicated to such an initiative in the area of data science and AI, with young minds interweaving with the researchers, is what we need to create magical results.
A few years ago, about a little over 5 years ago, Sunil and I decided to do our first joint philanthropic initiative focused on AI. Both of us felt as far back as 5-6 years ago that AI was going to be transformational in business, in society, but potentially also in philanthropy for social good. And even though this was well before the world of generative AI and ChatGPT and so on, we jointly established the Wadhwani Institute for AI for Social Good in Mumbai, with the vision that we would develop initiatives and programs that would help India in areas such as healthcare, education, agriculture, and other important domains. Both of us have had a passion for AI and applying AI in a variety of novel ways to help others, to help society. And with that kind of spirit, I am absolutely delighted that Sunil is setting up the Wadhwani School for Artificial Intelligence at IIT Madras. Absolutely brilliant idea. I am absolutely sure it'll be very, very successful. And Sunil, congratulations to you, and I look forward to seeing the great progress that this school is going to make. Lots of love from me. Bye.
This marks a turning point in the history of AI research for social good, not just in our nation but across the globe. The journey towards an AI-infused future for the greater good has just begun. Onwards and upwards from here.
Thank you. That was inspiring and insightful. May I now invite Professor V. Kamakoti, Director IT Madras, Mr. Sunil Wadhwani, President Wadhwani Impact Trust, Wish Foundation and Wadhwani AI, Professor Mahesh Panchagnulla, Professor B. Ravindran and Mr. Kaviraj Nair onto the dais for the MoU signing ceremony. May we have the MoU files, please? Sirs, do sign and show the folder for photo op. Thank you, sirs. That marked a turning point in the advancement of data science and AI, not just for IIT Madras, but also for our country. May I request Professor V. Kamakoti to present a memento on Angavastram to Mr. Sunil Wadhwani. Thank you, sirs. May I invite Mr. Sunil Wadhwani, President, Wadhwani Impact Trust, to deliver the inaugural address on Wadhwani School of Data Science and AI. Sir, please.
Good morning. Hey, batch of 74, let's show some josh. Good morning. Okay. Now that this is officially signed, I have to give my wife the bad news that she needs to cut back on her spending. Well, for my distinguished officials here and to my batchmates, isn't it great to be back on campus? I haven't been back here in a while, and it's interesting to see how much has changed. All these new buildings, everything is expanded, but at the same time, how much has stayed the same? So the hostels, I went to Jamuna Hostel yesterday, went to my room, virtually exactly the same. How many of you remember the band we used to have back in those days? We the Living. You remember that? I don't know if you know this, Kama, but back in those days, I didn't know anything about music, but I decided to form a Western music band here at IIT Madras. So I pulled together 3 other people who knew nothing about music either, same as me, and we formed a band. We were terrible, but because we were the only band in Chennai at that time that played Western music, you know, Rolling Stones, Beatles and all, people would invite us to play. That was the start of artificial music. And it's interesting, so in those days I used to play lead guitar. That was, of course, 50 years back. So I used to be strumming. Then I went to the US and I stopped my strumming and I took up drumming. So now I play drums, seriously, with 2 bands in Pittsburgh, where I live, playing the same kind of music. Classic rock from those days. So like you, wonderful memories of IIT Madras, the friendships we formed. Fortunately, the brain forgets all the bad stuff like the periodicals. For those in mechanical engineering, remember the workshop? Every afternoon, 2 hours of filing, you know. I think out of all of us, we look the oldest because of that workshop stuff we did. But it's interesting how life's journey goes. So I finished IITM, went to the US, joined Carnegie Mellon University, got an MBA, never wanted to work for anyone else. So I started a company in the medical device field. Healthcare was always a passion, so I started a medical device company. This was in the early 1980s in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had just gone through this tremendous downturn. The steel industry, which was the backbone of cities like Pittsburgh and Detroit, steel industry had collapsed. All the manufacturing had gone to Japan and Korea. And so unemployment in Pittsburgh at that time was over 40%, 40%, huge. So there was no venture capital available, there was no angel money. So when I started this little medical device startup, there was no money to be had. So whatever little life savings I had, I put into it, convinced a few other people to put in a tiny bit of money, got it going. 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, and the company collapsed. Total failure. After all of that time, life savings gone, etc. So spent a few weeks and a few months, agonizing about what went wrong from IIT, any IIT. We're not used to failing. We think of ourselves as winners. We made it in, we made it through. So this was an eye-opening experience. But the thinking about what went wrong and what could I have done differently really helped. And then I started my second company. Those lessons came in handy. And then the second company, which was an information technology company, grew. I took it public in the US. We grew to 34,000 employees globally. And then I sold that company a few years back. I have a third company, also in the IT field, which is also growing right now. I've done a lot of angel investing over the years, etc. So back in the mid-90s, I was thinking how lucky I've been. Like most of us in this room, born into a good family, middle-class family. They were able to send us to good schools. Because of that, we got into IIT, etc., etc. And I thought that if I had been born just half a mile away in Delhi from where I was born, in an urban slum, life would have been totally different. And how in India, that's how it is for 70 to 80% of our brothers and sisters, even today. So in the mid-90s, I said, look, I've been lucky and let me do what I can to try and help. So I started working with some NGOs in India in the healthcare field. And the idea was, how do we try and improve healthcare for people in India? India is like, to me, 3 countries. And if you take healthcare as an example, the top 5% of India has access to world-class healthcare, as good as you will find in the US, UK, Europe, wherever. The next 30, 40% will have access to decent healthcare and education, and quality of life. Below that, the 50 or 60% of the population really does not have access, even today, to good quality, affordable healthcare. That's a huge number of people. So, if you go into rural parts of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, all these places, or you go into the urban slums in Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, etc., it is very difficult to access good quality healthcare. So I said, let me start working in that field. So like I said, 25 years ago, I started working with some NGOs. Thanks to them, I traveled to remote parts of India, spoke with people in villages, sat on the floor, tried to understand what the issues were, what could be done better. And finally, many years later, I said, let me just start my own. I was having some ideas about how to apply innovation, technology to improving healthcare, primary healthcare particularly, in low-income communities. So I started Wish Foundation, as you heard, 10 years back. And we've grown fairly well. We now run over 1,000 healthcare clinics in low-income communities around India. We do this in partnership with government. We treat over 10 million people a year with free healthcare that we provide. And we bring in a lot of innovation and technology that's appropriate, that is low cost, that works in these challenging conditions, etc. And now many states have asked us to advise them on how to improve the giant healthcare systems that they run. And so we have these advisory units running in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Assam, Meghalaya, etc. A few years ago, when the Delhi government wanted to implement a large-scale urban health program for low-income communities, they selected us to be their partner to design and launch the program. 2 years back, Bombay Municipal Corporation, BMC, was launching a big urban health program. They selected us to be their partner. We helped design the program, and we're managing it now. Chennai Municipal Corporation called us about a month ago. They are planning a big healthcare initiative, so we are working out an MoU with them, which we'll probably sign next week. We'll get started over here, and so on. So that is scaling up nicely. So that was going well. And then 5 years ago, as you heard, I was chatting with my brother Ramesh. He's also an entrepreneur in the US. He's based on the West Coast. I'm based on the East Coast. And we've always worked independently. And because of that, we have a wonderful relationship. So he's had his companies, I've had my companies. He has his foundation focused on skilling and entrepreneurship. I have my foundation focused on public health. But what had happened is, at that time, I had the privilege of serving on a few boards in the US, and one of them was the board of trustees of Carnegie Mellon University, where I had gone to get my master's. And CMU, as you know, is one of the global leaders in AI, along with MIT and Stanford. So I chaired a couple of board committees looking at the future of Carnegie Mellon, the future of AI, how does CMU differentiate itself against these other powerful schools? And I got to see just how quickly artificial intelligence is moving. What struck me was all of this research was being funded by Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Facebook, and so on. And it was all being applied for commercial purposes. How do we sell more stuff? How do you, watch better movies on Netflix and so on? And no one was really thinking about how do we apply this very powerful technology, AI, for social good. 3-4 billion people in the world who are still struggling, don't have access to health, education, etc. No one seems to be focused on that. So that's when Ramesh, my brother, and I decided, let's start this nonprofit foundation in India, Institute for Artificial Intelligence, just focused on developing AI solutions in areas like healthcare, education, and so on. So Prime Minister Modi came down to inaugurate the institute, gave the best speech I've heard by anyone in the world on AI. And the basic mission we agreed to jointly was the following. I told Prime Minister Modi, I said, look, India is far behind the US and China and other countries in AI research, AI academics, AI training. But I said, perhaps if we work together, we can make India the global leader in applying AI for social development. And he absolutely agreed, and he's been a big supporter of ours ever since then. So now we've grown to about 250 full-time people in our AI Institute. It's the largest group anywhere in the world in a nonprofit working on AI for social good. We've got AI and machine learning experts. We have domain experts in healthcare, education, urban planning, agriculture, and so on. We've developed over 25 AI solutions in a whole range of areas. Tuberculosis, biggest infectious disease killer in India and in the world. And we have a range of AI solutions to detect TB earlier, how to treat it better, etc. We have a range of solutions in maternal and child health to bring down infant mortality rates, maternal mortality rates, how to predict which expecting mothers will have high-risk pregnancies, what interventions to make ahead of time to reduce the risk, what interventions to make at the time of delivery, and so on. We have AI solutions to detect low birth weight babies and to guide people on what to do. 6 months back, the health ministry called us and said, the government has 150,000 community health officers around India. And if you live in a low-income community, that is your first point of contact. If you have a cold, a fever, a broken bone, snake bite, you see a community health officer. They are not doctors. They receive a bare minimum of training from the government, and they're put out there, and they have to detect when you or I walk in, what is the problem, what's the diagnosis, what's the treatment, etc. So the health ministry asked us, they said, look, these poor people are struggling, can you do something to help them? So very quickly, we developed an AI app to help these community health officers. It's in pilot right now. And on the basis of 2 or 3 symptoms from the patient, our AI app will tell them, here's the likely diagnosis, here's the treatment plan, or here's where you should refer the patient, so on. It's in pilot, but it's already being used for over 5 million consultations a month. And the government is telling us this could be a game changer as it scales up, as we get it into more Indian languages and so on. So those are the kinds of things we do. We have a lot of applications in agriculture, better pest management, pesticide management, how to improve farmers' incomes, and now we're starting to work in the field of education. Beyond developing applications, we also now are playing an advisory role with ministries in Delhi as well as with various state governments, training them on AI, what AI can and cannot do, what data governance standards, what should those be, what AI use cases would be highest impact, where do you have data, et cetera, et cetera. So we are working with multiple states. Just to close, so when Prime Minister Modi inaugurated our AI Institute, one of the things I mentioned to him is that every major country in the world has an AI strategy. They pull together leading people in the country, academics, researchers, and so on, and they develop an AI strategy. This was 2018. And I said, Prime Minister, we don't have an AI strategy in India. No one's thinking about this. He said, okay. So, theek hai, function ends, we all go our own ways. And I thought, theek hai, forgotten. 6 weeks later, my team gets a call from the Prime Minister's office saying, please come to Delhi. PM would like to meet you. So Shekhar, who you saw on the screen, the CEO of my AI Institute, he went up there. And the Prime Minister said, you're right. You're going to develop an AI strategy. I want Niti Aayog will drive it. But I want you, Wadhwani Institute, to be a close partner in developing this strategy. So we came up with a very robust document. It's almost 200 pages. It's available on the web. You can read it. How to develop a research ecosystem for AI in India, how to develop an academic ecosystem for AI in India, training, how to develop AI for verticals, healthcare, education, and so on. Very, very powerful strategy. Challenges in 5 years, not too much has happened to execute on that. It is just starting to happen, but that's why maybe a year ago or 8-9 months ago, I said, bhai, this is taking too long. And in the meantime, Gen AI, ChatGPT had come out 15 months ago. It's transforming AI. Now it's racing ahead. You watch what happens with AI in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing, both on the positive and on the negative side. Both are going to happen. But I said, we need to start in India. So I happened to be in discussions with IIT Madras at that time. And I heard about what was happening over here under Professor Ravindran on the AI side. And I said, why don't we scale it up? So they've come up with a brilliant plan. And we are going to scale this up from just a collection of efforts into a proper department. I didn't realize, but to form a department, one has to get approval from the President of India. So we're hoping to get that approval in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And then we'll be a full-fledged department. We'll be starting off the bat with 15 full-time faculty members, which will make us by far the largest AI department of any IIT out of 23 IITs in India. In 3 years, we are looking to grow that to 30 full-time faculty and double that number of support faculty, and in 5 years to get to 40 to 50 full-time faculty. In 3 years, we want to have 500 to 600 students, bachelors, masters, PhDs, large number of researchers, large number of international visiting scholars. We want to be hosting international conferences on data science and AI. And so the goal we've set for ourselves, we've got very specific goals that we've set, that in 5 years, we want IITM's School of Data Science and AI to be #1 in India and to be among the top 5 in the world in 3 selected areas of focus. One area of focus will be responsible AI, as you heard from Professor Ravindran, hugely needed right now with the way AI is exploding and the bad purposes to which AI is already starting to be used for disinformation, deep fakes, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get 100 times, 1,000 times more in the next 3 to 5 years. So someone needs to be looking at this very closely. We'll be doing that. We'll be looking at AI in health as a huge area, and already there's a lot of good work being done at IITM. So the idea is to make IITM a national and a global leader in this field. And the last thing that Professor Ravindran has told me as a special benefit to us 1974 graduates, he said that if each of us comes back to campus every 5 years for an AI touch-up, an AI-powered healthcare touch-up, an AI-powered intelligence touch-up, he assures me, he guarantees me that we will all be here for our 100th anniversary reunion 50 years from now. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our alumni community has played an integral role in the Institute's progress over the years. This alumni alma mater ecosystem that we have nurtured at IIT Madras is unique and holds a special place in our hearts. May I now invite Professor Mahesh Panchaknulla, Dean Alumni and Corporate Relations, to address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I joined the reunion a little late. I had daddy duties to do to drive my daughter for her to write her JEE, just as your parents drove you in 1969, I'm sure. I want to welcome everybody back to IIT Madras. The 50th reunion is a very special one. I'm very happy to see a large representation. I have this privilege of doing a longitudinal study in some sense. The class of 73, which included Desh, met last year in January. It happened to be in CLT. The class of 72, KK Raman is here, 71. So I've seen the last 5 years of the classes of the 50th year Golden Jubilee classes come together, and it's always a delight to see this group come together. I particularly want to welcome all the spouses and the ladies who have taken the effort to join us all today. I can't imagine there'd be 1 year over 50 like me. You're all looking wonderful. Thank you. IIT Madras is what it is today, largely because of its alumni. IITs all are roughly in the same place, but I will particularly give a shout out to IIT Madras because we are the best. We are the best not because I say it, but because several objective measures have pointed to this fact. Several objective ways of looking at a university, be it the amount of goodwill industry invests in an institution in terms of its ability to solve problems, be it in terms of the industry's belief in a university's graduates to contribute to their business activities, or be it alumni who would come back to help us create institutions, help us create systems, help us leave behind a legacy that would improve the next generation of students' life cycle as they go through their 4 or 5 years here on campus. All of you, when you came in as young men and women in the year 1969, you spent 4 or 5 years here. You studied hard, you partied hard, as Sunil has promised us, and you gained from each other's camaraderie and company. And as you moved on from this institution, you've done well for yourself, you've done well for your society, you've done well for your families, and most of you and all of you have IIT Madras front and square in your heart to see that it goes on to do something similar for the next generation of students. This is what I tersely call or remind myself that there are 3 phases in a person's life. You learn, you earn, and you return. Today we are seeing evidence of all 3 happen in one room. We are all learning where AI is going to take us all. We've all done well for ourselves, for our families, and we are also seeing evidence of what return should look like and could look like. So I want to thank the class for staying together, for really making IIT in a sense what it is today. And class after class, you've invested time to talk about what IIT Madras has done to you. And from my vantage point, I've met thousands of alumni, and every time I see one of them, the conversation either starts or ends with a refrain that he is or she is who he is or she is because of IIT Madras. I am what I am because of IIT Madras. And the 3 or 4 years, or 4 or 5 years that we spent here shaping our thinking and giving us a platform to launch our careers off of, giving us a brand that sticks to us and becomes a part of who we are for a very long time to come. Today's young men and women who are students are no different from that. They need a brand just as you did when you graduated out. Today's IIT Madras is here for them to see that their careers are launched on a slightly more steeper trajectory than yours was or mine was when I graduated from here in 1992. It behooves each and every one of us to see that their launch angle is a little more favorable than yours was when you graduated. And each of us have been bestowed this power to create this, to improve this institution so the next generation of students can benefit from an even more improved IIT Madras. The last point I want to leave you all with is that classes after classes come together to really do 3 things. The most important reason we like to meet our fellow graduates is to remind ourselves of the of the person remind Mahesh of the Mahesh of 1992 and sort of feel it, a year or two younger, to go back to Jamuna as Sunil did yesterday and to sort of relive a short part of our life. And this is a very therapeutic pursuit, to go back and rekindle our memories from the times of the past. The second, while you're at it, interact with students. See what today's generation of students are like. And you'll see for yourself that the IIT you graduated from is similar in many ways, but has also changed in many ways. And the last reason I will welcome you back to IIT Madras, more often than for your 50th reunion, is to see for yourself the changes that are happening around you, the changes that your alma mater is envisioning for itself. And as Professor Kamakoti mentioned, we want to see these changes trickle down all the way to where our students' personal employment choices, career choices are now far more individualistic, far more driven by a desire to be job creators and not necessarily job seekers, as most of us started out our careers as. Thank you all for coming, and I'm sure your time here on campus for the rest of the day would be just as enjoyable as your time here as students, if not more. Wish you all the very best, and see you here for the 60th reunion, if not sooner.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Ms. Shyamala, President, IIT Madras Alumni Association, to address the gathering.
Hi, everybody. I just can't share the feeling I have today. It was so wonderful to meet so many of you yesterday, and even more special to be here today. I just wanted to share a short poem in this context as a thank you to this lovely golden reunion as well as the Wadhwani AI Institute. In the land of memories, I take a glance into Mardi Gras and bands We the Living We sang. OAT movie nights with pillows and delight, shared laughter beneath the celestial light. OAT movie nights with pillows and delight, shared laughter beneath the celestial light. Cycling through memories to the department's door, a journey embarked on forever to explore. Workshops and learnings like seeds in fertile soil, filling our minds, ambition, and toil. Cups of chai, buns at tharams, sweet treats, moments so cherished when friends and stories meet. From GC halls to gate open embrace, bonds of camaraderie we forever trace. Cups of chais, buns at tharams, sweet retreat, moments so cherished when friends and stories meet. From GC halls to gates open embrace, bonds of camaraderie forever we trace. Thoughts of close calls and academic strife, core courses challenged the essence of life. Through hurdles and triumphs, hand in hand we flew, a team of alumni forging paths anew. Through hurdles and triumphs, hand in hand we flew, a team of alumni forging paths anew. Now, as time moves on, our paths reunite. Alumni united, shining ever so bright. Creating value and impact, hand in hand we stand. Together weaving future, a purposeful band. Creating value and impact, hand in hand we stand. Together weaving future, a purposeful band. With Wadhwani School of Data Sciences in our sight, cheering contributions by Sunil Wadhwani so bright. Alumni of IIT Madras, a legacy so grand, a new realm in AI across every land. With Wadhwani School of Data Sciences in our sight, cheering contributions by Sunil Wadhwani so bright. Alumni of IIT Madras, a legacy so grand, a new realm in AI across every land. For social development, corporate and education, building the future an accelerating sensation. In this grand tapestry, our impact takes shape, a journey of alumni in memories we drape. In journey of alumni in memories we drape. Thank you, Sunil, for your outstanding contributions to the Institute.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Kameshwar Shastri from the class of 1974 will now share a few words with us.
Good morning to you all. Can you hear me? Okay. Professor Kamakoti, the Director of IIT Madras. Professor Panchagnula, Director, Alumni Corporate Relations. Professor Ravindran, the Head of Department of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. Ms. Shamla Rajaram, President of IIT Madras Alumni Association. Mr. Kaviraj Nair, CEO, Office of Institutional Advancement, IIT Madras. Mr. Sunil Wadhwani, and his team of AI and data scientists, my fellow peers and their better halves, and all those who have gathered over here. On behalf of the batch of 1974 Bachelor of Technology graduates of IIT Madras, I wish to address all of you with relation to the journey several of us had after our graduation. I do still record the words of our IIT Director, Dr. Erkat Ramachandran, in 1969, when he called us the cream of the country in his inaugural address, and then began the first 5-year struggle leading to our graduation. We did receive a very strong foundation that assisted us in launching ourselves in different fields. Some went into higher education in India and overseas, some into management institutions, others into the corporate world. And there were some who did work with the Government of India in administration and defense production. Careers were spread out in assisting developing and underdeveloped nations across all the continents. And there is no doubt that we have contributed to society at large. Our golden reunion today is just not a reunion. It is a moment to reminisce, learn about, and celebrate the diverse journeys that each of us have taken in our life. It is only fair to acknowledge the efforts made by Mr. Sunil Wadhwani and several of our peers in the silver moments 25 years back in building the water tank at IIT Madras. It was in 1999. And those made by our peers in the Ruby Reunion 2014. And of course, the current showstopper contribution by Mr. Sunil Wadhwani on artificial intelligence and data sciences. That he receives a big hand, please. Besides corporate successes, we have observed the contributions made by some of our members to the grassroots of their origin in the rural areas in building educational institutions like schools and engineering after curtailing their own corporate successes midway. Notable in these contributions are those made by Jacob John and Tariq Azam. There have been several quiet, unpublicized contributions by several of our other peers as well. We have been having these meets with the painstaking efforts of Harishankar Somyaji, Anil Chaudhary, TJ, and several members of the administration team who have been working continuously, taking into account every minor detail with respect to communication among members, travel plans, meal plans, and all minute requirements. It is what we usually refer to as a thankless job. Let me assure you, all of you, that all efforts have been amazing. Anil Chaudhary and Harishankar Somyaji are not with us today since they are making arrangements for the subsequent part of our meet at Goa. And during this meet, I think we should not forget the contributions of our better halves. They formed what's called a WhatsApp group, called a Sunflower Group 5 years back, and have been of immense help in organizing all our meets and making sure that all of us are kept busy and entertained during this meet. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. May I request Ms. Sujata Dubey, Vice President, Alumni Relations, Office of Alumni and Corporate Relations, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor and my privilege to offer this vote of thanks for this wonderful event that is just concluding now. I would like to begin by thanking our director, Dr. Kamakoti, our Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations, Dr. Mahesh Panchangula, our earlier director, Dr. Bhaskar Ramamurthy, all the faculty from the new department of AI headed by Dr. Ravindran, and other deans and faculty members who have come for this event. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the class of 1974 for coming home in such large numbers. I was privileged to be part of your earlier reunion in Mysore last year, and so I'm really happy to see you all here on campus today. I would like to thank the officers of IIT MA, who have led by Shamala and Nishani, who have participated in the event today. And last but not least, I'd like to thank our CEO, Kaviraj Nair, and our wonderful team from Alumni and Corporate Relations, who have made this event go through so smoothly and so well. Lunch will be served after this last item on the agenda, which is to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता